The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Wrestling to the Max 205 Live Review! Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, we're gonna do our own entrances now, since we don't have one for 205. We'll just do it ourselves from now on. Hey,
seriously, Sean, you deserve one.
we need it. We need a 205 one now. Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Brandon Biskobing. I'll be your host for tonight, and for the 5th time in 4 days, it's Liz and I. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Brandon.
We're almost done. This is our last one.
Tomorrow you're gonna be like, I am not talking to her today.
Nope. So yeah, we got 205 Live to talk about. We've got some cruiserweight action to talk about.
Usually the best stuff.
Yeah, and rightfully so this week again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What?
Definitely.
Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness are over in London for the UK tournament taping, so we get Tom Phillips and Percy Watson on the announce table tonight. Jack Gallagher is also still in the UK, so we just get Brian Kendrick coming out with Drew Gulak. We get a recap of the Lucha House Party Trios win last week. Both Kalisto and Gran Metalik come out with Lince Dorado and Penelope Kulak the Pinata. What the hell? This is just... Can you really get any more stereotypical?
I'm not even commenting on that because it's going to end up in a rant.
Oh, yeah. So the opening contest scheduled for
One fall
is Drew Gulak versus Lince Dorado. And hey, Lince gets his old music back. Yay! Please stay as the singles guy so I can hear your music again.
Mm-hmm.
And get away from generic Mexican stereotyped faction number 3.
Anything that's house party and has a pinata, I mean, go give that to No Way Jose. Give that to No Way Jose and I'll be fine.
No. We are not sullying No Way Jose. That's what I thought he was going to be when he first debuted in NXT, was a very generic, stereotypical, Latino gimmick. And then he surprised me, and he was actually unique, and that's why I like him. So yeah, no, we are not sullying his good name by doing that.
Unique in the ring, but not unique in gimmick. But anyway, it's a whole other show.
True enough. He's definitely gotten more stereotypical since he's come up to the main roster. He wasn't as bad in NXT. So this match was fairly good. Yeah, it was good. Both of them did, Gulak, it was again one of those, a very high-flying guy against the ground base of Drew Gulak. Kendrick helped Gulak out a little bit at the end, moving his foot onto the bottom rope after Dorado hit him with the Golden Rewind. And also hit him onto the bottom rope to set up Drew's finisher. And yeah, Gulak has now submitted all 3 members of Lucha House Party. So yeah, hopefully this debacle is over and we can move on, and maybe Lucha House Party can break up soon enough.
Didn't they announce a match for next week?
Yeah, I think they did.
With them? I don't think it's over. I mean...
Yeah, I know this. It's wishful thinking.
I mean, for some reason, one of my favorite things was him yelling, how does it feel, cat? I don't know why.
That's a good one.
Random stuff like that always
Oh yeah,
possibly.
I mean, we've already talked about how good Drew has been when he was on commentary.
I mean, we could talk about Drew for an hour, especially Gary and I.
Yeah.
But they got a nice little chunk of time. It was like what, at least 6-7 minutes, maybe a little bit more, I think. Solid opener, played into the feud that is going to be like never ending. It's going to be the feud that never ends.
Oh God, don't.
I know, sorry. But I like Lince. I'm glad he got his music back. I'm with you. I'd love to see him get away from that. I think all of them need to get away from that because they're all solid, on their own.
But see, I mean, I hate to say it, but at least, and this isn't a good thing, but at least Kalisto and Grand Metalik make sense with them. Like, they are that type of, just prototypical generic luchador number 5 type gimmick. Whereas Dorado has been unique throughout his whole career.
Absolutely, you can definitely make that argument. I cannot, disagree with you there at all. And Kalisto and Graham, I can never say it, Metalik, if they do go the way of tag teams on here, which I don't see, maybe now with the UK show, they'll do something crazy so there's enough people, they'd make a great tag team, and I think they could definitely be, contenders. But Lince definitely deserves his own spotlight.
Oh yes, definitely.
And I can never get enough Drew, so
So following that, we get Drake Maverick in the back talking to the ref about the main event. Then Hideo Itami comes in, and Drake says, "If you have issues in the future, you need to come to me instead of running in on matches." Itami says there won't be any problems in the future if Maverick shows him respect. Drake says that respect is a two-way street, and you can earn it by beating 2 tough competitors tonight. And yeah, so that's that. What do you think of this whole thing with Itami?
I like it. I think he's quite capable of. I mean, we all know he is quite capable, but main eventing elsewhere and main eventing here are two entirely, different things. WWE certainly used to a certain type and keep a tight rein. I don't know how it works, anywhere else. I'm glad he's getting the opportunities he is to, his talent, not just in the ring, but otherwise.
Yeah.
I think it's well deserving, and it's nice to see them, going with it. I was going to say attempt rather than sound right.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping this leads to something with Itami because, I mean, granted it didn't help that he got injured a bunch when he was in NXT, but, he came into such fanfare, like he was one of the first big indie signings for NXT, and, he never really amounted to much in NXT, but now he has the opportunity to hopefully redeem himself in in 205 and do something with it. We get TJP out with the mic talking about the Cruiser Great being wasted again. He says, "I should always be the main event." We get him interviewing local jobber number 25. And he says, he called him Palbert from Tostedo, Ohio instead of Toledo, which was funny. I popped for that. The local jobber number 25 punches him in the face for disrespecting him, and that leads to TJP putting him in a knee bar, and he taps. It wasn't no official match, but yeah. And TJP just walks out. Where do you think they're going with this? Because like they keep on having him do this stuff with with jobbers, and then the whole thing of I'm gonna go up to the main roster and everything. But it doesn't seem like they're really going anywhere with it.
I think they're gonna, build to it. I mean, they haven't
Yeah.
really been doing it, that long. I think they're testing him out in this role, but I think he's proving himself. He plays a great jerk. I was when TJP was showing up on, and you don't really see them on. They stopped having them on Raw.
They're
Right?
never on Raw anymore. I think
Anymore,
I
right?
think Dave Meltzer even said like a couple of weeks ago that they're officially fully done with
Yeah. So when
Raw.
he would show up, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. When he would show up on Raw, and I started to do this, show with Harry. I was very like blasé about him. I mean, he had like a funky entrance and everything, but he blended in with a lot of people. For me, he was a little bland and almost like a little generic. I'm not talking about his in-ring ability
Mm.
because we all know everybody on the show is like in a class of all their own,
Yeah.
but he didn't do anything for me. Like it felt like for me, and I'm stressing for me, it felt like really flat. I like this jerky, assholery, for lack of a better word, TJP.
I
It
mean,
suits him.
yeah, I mean, it may suit him, but I think a lot of that, and we've talked about it ad nauseum about a number of different guys, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that's just a symptom. I mean, it may help him to an extent, but I think that's very much just a symptom of this PG-PC WWE that we have now, where because the heels they're trying to get them hated, the heels are able to toe that line much more than the faces ever are. The faces are like 10 miles away from the line,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the heels are like, a few feet away from it. And I think that gives the heels a lot more creative freedom to do
Right.
things and feel more natural, feel more like real human beings and not robots.
Right.
So I think that's more just a symptom of WWE in general more than,
Mm.
an individual.
Yeah, but also not everybody's gonna connect with that gamer thing. He had
That's true.
you know
That's true. I mean, his gimmick was
going on because
very
I didn't. As much as I try to follow video games because like my nephew's really into them, and I do watch not just up down down, but other stuff online. I didn't connect with it. I mean,
mm-hmm. I mean,
so I think that's
I connected with it much more because I am a gamer, so like that does
right.
help. Certain gimmicks like that, yeah, it definitely it definitely helps to be in that class. So that's a good point in that sense. But you could say the same thing about a lot of gimmicks in the past and even in modern times.
No, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
we get
Sure.
we get Leo Rush getting another promo, and this time it is giving a specific date next week. Leo Rush will make his debut in 205 Live, so that'll be interesting to see how he does with the cruiserweights. And like Liz said before, we are getting a 6-man tag match again between Kendrick Gallagher and Gulak versus Lucha House Party. This time it's an elimination match, so I guess it's a little different. But
Do you know why I don't mind it?
okay,
Drew's in it.
yes, I know. I
I'm
just
just
want this
kidding.
feud to be over already.
I'm just kidding. The feud has to end, and alright, it's an elimination one, but I'm so tired of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We get Cedric Alexander backstage, offering Mustafa Ali a hand and seeming to help him out with strategy. So the main event scheduled for one fall
Wonderful.
sees a triple threat between Hideo Itami, Buddy Murphy, and Mustafa Ali. The end sees Itami win And this was a pretty crazy match. Itami wins by taking off the bottom turnbuckle pad, which I haven't seen. I don't think I've ever seen someone take off the bottom turnbuckle pad. It's always the top turnbuckle pad.
I have. I can't give you a specific instance, but I've seen it.
I might have seen it once or twice, but not in a long time. Itami then proceeds to hit a running drop kick into the turnbuckle with Ali right there. And just seeing it, that looked like it hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they sold that well. The other big spot in the match, and all I could think of, I know you don't follow it, but go look it up. Whenever I see someone pull off a Spanish fly, especially off of like something like the announce table or anything outside of the ring, all I can think of is Will Ospreay this past year, back in March, at New Beginning, at one of the New Beginning shows, hitting a Spanish fly off of the apron and proceeding to jam his head in and jam the back of his neck off against the apron.
Ooh.
Yeah, it like, you feel your neck hurt when you see it. It was bad.
I definitely have to look. I kind of have like a inkling that I've seen that.
You probably have, because I think someone posted a GIF of it on the group chat.
Right.
But yeah, it was painful to watch. But yeah, so that's all I can think of whenever I see a Spanish fly. I'm like, oh god, be careful with those. Those are very dangerous spots. But yeah, so we get Itami win, as I mentioned. What do you think of the match first, and then do you think Itami has any chance of winning the title?
I thought the match was really good. I very much enjoyed it.
I'd probably say at least one of the best matches of the week.
Yeah, easily. It's definitely in my top 3. It probably is my, top 1.
Yeah.
It's probably the number 1 match, for me. I mean, Ali always delivers. I'm sure there's somebody would be like, oh, well, he sucked this day. I'm sure he's had an off day here and there. But Ali is a solid performer. You're going to get something good out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Hideo, I've actually, even though I don't follow a lot of different things, I've always been familiar with him because he's somebody that everybody always, talked about. So I have not been surprised that I've enjoyed everything, he's done anywhere in the company. And for Murphy, as I say in every episode of anything we record, I didn't watch NXT until recently. So Murphy has, when I first saw him, I was like, and not in like a mean way. It's like, it's like, okay, here's another guy with a certain look. I did enjoy the whole, weighing thing. I got a kick out of that. Like, okay, well, a big, what is it, big fish in little pond, whatever. like, oh, on the main roster, like, what chance do I have? So I'm over here, I'm going to get down to weight, and then kick ass over here, So I enjoyed that. But he pleasantly surprised me. I didn't think I was going to, take to his character. I didn't think he would, impress me, but he really has. For me, in my opinion, he's delivered pretty much every match I've seen him in. So for me, this is like at least like a 3-star, probably a little bit more match. I mean, the crowd was dead.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I mean, I
tend to listen. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Okay.
again. I do tend to listen to things with the volume low, so if I'm wrong, just correct me. I don't care.
No.
But
You're definitely right. The crowd wasn't all
and
that into this, but I think that's the problem that it seems that WWE has and 205 Live has when it comes to especially when it comes to 205 Live, and even for the main roster to an extent. You get this where, especially for 205, it all depends upon where you are. If you're in
yeah,
one of the bigger, smarkier cities, that crowd is going to be there for 205 Live and it's going to be loud. But if you're in one of these smaller towns that aren't as in tune with, the other wrestling other than WWE, you're
mhm,
going to get that disconnect.
right. But what I was no, absolutely. But they did turn them around a little, which is what
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say. So they took a crowd that was kind of falling asleep. I mean, it's not even that they're falling asleep because of them. It's been a long day for these
Mm-hmm.
people, but they turned them around. I think quite a bit, and they deserve the credit for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd compare this to the the Undisputed Era versus Lorcan and Birch match on
Hmm.
Saturday, where the crowd was completely against Lorcan and Birch, and then they turned him around.
Yeah, and as for your question, I do think it leads to um, a title shot or a feud with Cedric would be nice because we haven't even really seen Cedric,
Yeah.
all that much, and we don't want Cedric to turn into somebody else. He
Oh
doesn't
God,
really
no. At least
isn't
he's
what you.
on TV though. I mean, we
No, I
saw
know
him tonight.
I know we did. I would love a feud between the two of them. I think we could get some really quality stuff both in and out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Right down the line, I don't see Cedric dropping yet because they haven't
No.
really done much with him as a champion yet, and I think that would harm him more than anything. And with Hunter running the show, I think he knows that. But like, really, what do I know?
Yeah.
So, but I think eventually, yes.
Yeah. I definitely hope that Itami does get a title run at some point. Maybe extended, like maybe have it, have them have a match at some point over this next month with Cedric winning, but then Itami like forcing his way into a rematch, and then have
Hmm.
that at SummerSlam, which I would assume there's going to be a cruiserweight title match at SummerSlam, and have Itami win it there.
Very plausible. Before we wrap up, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
With this NXT UK,
Yeah.
do you see them adding any of these matches to the pay-per-views at any time? Or
What,
just maybe even the big four?
the NXT UK matches?
Hmm.
Not to the main roster shows, but I could totally see them maybe expanding the takeovers and putting maybe one of those on there. But I also have a feeling that we may eventually, I don't think this is going to happen right away. We may get one or two UK championship matches, like
Hmm.
the main title, on some of the takeovers, like we have in the past.
Hmm.
Um, but I think they're going to kind of test the waters on this for a little bit. And if it
Hmm.
is successful, we may get separate NXT UK takeovers.
That would be pretty cool. I was just curious where you thought they'd. And I know NXT isn't usually on the pay-per-views, but I was thinking
Yeah.
to promote it some more, especially with like
I
people like
think they'll.
Gallagher and whatnot crossing
Yeah.
between so many lines.
Yeah. I think they'll probably, if they do it at all, they'll do it on the takeovers, because I think Triple H is gonna focus on getting, he knows that the main roster crowd, if they aren't watching NXT already, they're probably not going to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to focus on getting the NXT crowd into watching the UK show.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to put him on anything, it'll be on the takeovers.
Yeah, I was just curious because I have a feeling that some others are going to be jumping around as well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, the only people that I could really see jumping around is Gallagher, or at least I hope, although they've already kind of, diminished the whole concept of it being UK only. But I could definitely see Gallagher going back and forth. I could see Danny Burch going back and forth from NXT. But besides that, I can't really think of any UK-based guys other than one individual who is in wrestling limbo right now.
Who?
Can't think of him. He was on 205 last we saw him.
Oh, Neville.
Yes, Neville.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a topic for a different show. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more on Thursday when we talk NXT, since it is.
Yeah, no,
technically...
I was just looking at something on. I was just looking at something on Twitter, and there's a discussion going on if any more. How are they gonna cross it over and promote it?
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, I have my own little mini rant to go on about that, because I think this is well beyond past due, and the momentum it has. I mean, I get that they're doing the second UK title, or the UK Championship tournament, which helps it a little bit, but for all of the hype of the UK tournament the first time, it kind of, it's like now it's not as big of a deal as it was back when they first brought it into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really only one guy that I really care about in this whole UK thing. I mean, granted, I haven't followed these guys nearly as much, and, I don't have the same sort of, rooting interest possibilities with the exception of one guy for the UK tournament, as I did for like the Cruiserweight Classic. But unless they do something with Devlin, I probably won't really watch this show all that much.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you there.
So, let's do a rating on this.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed TJ's stuff. I enjoyed the little bit of backstage with stuff we got. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to give it an 8.
Alright. I'll give it a 7.5. The opening match was good. The whole stuff with TJP was kind of funny, and then the main event was good, but not quite to the level that we've had on other 205s.
Mm-hmm.
One word review.
One word review. I had one that slipped out of my brain. One word. Consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I can't really come up with a better one, so that works for me as well. The only thing else that I could mention is that we get a new I'm assuming we get a new number one contender, so this is kind of like a new beginning for the Cruiserweight Championship for the title picture.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll continue to pick up and be solid. I mean, you're gonna have some hits and misses.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
gonna have that, anywhere.
Yeah.
I would have given it a 10 if we somehow lucked out and gotten Corey to stay on commentary.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm thinking, the other guys that aren't there. Corey was right there. He couldn't
Yep.
give them an extra hour. I mean,
Yeah, come on. I still wish that they would have, because of Morrow not being there on Saturday, I wish they would have given us a throwback team of Tom Phillips and Corey Graves for TakeOver.
Oh, man, that would have been so good.
So that just about wraps us up for 205. Finally, our quadfecta with 5 shows is over.
It's been great.
It has been. We'll be back. I know I'll be back. Liz will probably be back too on Thursday for NXT. See, all these shows are now mixing together in my head.
Right, I know. That's why even the whole NXT UK thing, I didn't even phrase it properly because everything's all jumbled in my head.
Yeah, watch. We're gonna get roped into doing a review for that too once it starts.
You know what's gonna happen though? The next, pay-per-view and takeover, what two fools are gonna be covering the whole thing? Because Harry will conveniently be out of town because he doesn't care, whatever. Yep.
Well, I don't think we're probably doing much of anything for Extreme Rules because I think everyone's gonna be out of town or something.
When is Extreme Rules?
Either early or mid-July, I think.
Are you planning on being away?
No, I won't be, but I thought you were going to be out of town or something. I thought I heard you talking about that.
I'm out of town in the beginning of the month.
Oh, for 4th of July?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I might be by myself for that, or we may not have shows for that week. We'll see though. So for Liz Pugliese, I'm Brandon Biskobing saying so long, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.